to be setting up Webflow in Cloudflare, and we're going to be caching everything and using all Cloudflare's great optimizations. We're going to kick things off with our analytics test that we've been using in all of our other tutorials. And we're going to start off by setting it up as Webflow wants you to do it. So with all the Cloudflare optimizations and everything disabled, then we're going to switch over, run everything through Cloudflare. Then we're going to cache it. We're going to install Cassette to get all your assets on there. And we're going to sort out any issues. And finally, we're going to show you all the neat settings we didn't talk about in the actual blog post. So how to set up rules, default optimizations, etc. Okay, I'm going to kick it off here by adding our domain. So let's head over to Cloudflare. And we've got a domain that we registered, milkmoonstudiotest.com. So let's head over here. We want to add a custom domain, milkmoonstudiotest.com. Add a domain. We're not going to be doing domain flattening or anything, just the normal stuff. So www.milkmoonstudio. Okay, so let's stick in all of these settings. So we want to grab the A records there. I'm going to go over to DNS, add a record A at, and this guy, save. And we're going to grab this one, add A at, stick in the IP, and head over to the next. So this is going to be your C name. Add a record. Where is it? Sorry. For www. Save. Oh, actually that's an at. Doesn't matter. We'll just add the next one. Yeah, sorry. We want to do www. We are correct. And then we want to add a text record with an at for the same thing. That's just for let's encrypt. Okay, add a record. We want to do text at, stick that value in, save. Okay, let's see if we missed anything. So we've got the A records. We're not doing option 2. That's if we're going to do CNAME flattening. We're going to make this guy the default. Check status. And check status. Ooh, and nothing's happened yet. Oh, 2 other things. Webflow doesn't want this on, so no caching, right? When we're doing the normal Webflow setup in here. So no proxies, edit, no proxy. And then what we want to do is to get these pushed, propagated everywhere. I'm going to do Cloudflare purge DNS. I can't remember the URL. There we go. And it's milkmoonstudiotest.com. I want to purge the A record. We want to purge the C name. We want to purge the text. And then same for www. We want to start off with the naked one first. So again, purge A, purge C name, and purge text record. And then let's just do Google in case. Purge Google DNS. Here we go. Flash. Google's flash. And it's Milk Moon Studio test.com, and you'll see flash the subdomains after we do this. So we're going to flash that. Google takes a bit longer. Ooh, it's really flashing now. Cool, that's been flashed. CNAME, flash. And just add text along, let's wait. While that one's flashing. Okay, cool, we're good there. Oh, sorry, it's still that. TXT and flash. And then I do www when this is finishing. So flashing all of these just makes it go and call the records on Cloudflare and propagates them to all of these servers really quickly, so we don't have to wait for anything. A record again, flash. Let's get out of here in the meantime. Check status. Check status. Ignore that. Publish. I know what's wrong. I spelt it incorrectly. Oops. Add a custom domain. Milk Moon Studio test.com. Sorry, y'all. At least we don't need to enter it all again. Everything's the same. It's already picked up the changes. That's the default. And here we go, publish. So now, oh, I didn't publish that. So now we should be live. Open this up. Maybe not. Reload. SSL protocol error. It was just a refresh. Okay. We're all sorted. Site's live. Now, if we check in here, encryption, check the certificate. There we go. So that'll be our certificate from Cloudflare, and everything on our little test site is working. Okay, so you're gonna want this plugin called Dr. Flare. It's Cloudflare's plugin. If you go to DevTools, you will see if we switch to Dr. Flare, nothing's happening. We're going to refresh this connection so that Dr. Flare does run. And you'll see we're on Cloudflare, but it's not doing anything, right? The little orange clouds are off, so it's not caching anything. So how do we get it working through Cloudflare so that our certificate doesn't break? If we turn on these guys, it's gonna work for the amount of time that this certificate is live at the moment. So it'll work till the 3rd of December. Then let's encrypt, or whoever Cloudflare is using at the moment, Avast, is going to try and create a new one. And because it's not getting hits via Cloudflare because everything's proxied, that's just going to break. And you're going to have your site down. So what we're going to do is a neat little hack here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to disable SSL. Save the changes. We're going to get the settings for SSL disabled, right? So we're going to take this proxy address, head in here, swap the SSL one out, save. Oh, and we're going to turn on the cloud now. Save. Next, this guy, get back in here, edit him, turn on proxy, save, and then we're going to grab this guy. We're going to leave the text record because that plays no role in this at the moment, I think. So we're just going to swap that out, turn on that, save. Now we're going to have a problem. Let's just flash Cloudflare. Oh, right. So the next step in this process is enabling all of this again. And it's going to say issue detected. None of this stuff is there. Don't worry. Doesn't matter. Just publish. Okay. So ignore the errors. Head back over here. Let's purge this guy. We're going to purge him and CNAME, and we're going to do the same for www.record first and CNAME. And everything should break now, right? Let's hit refresh. Actually, it won't break. Certificate's still fine. What we're going to do now to keep everything nice and secure in here, first off, we're going to head to SSL. And we're going to switch this to full. If we can get it to click. We can turn this on. It'll give you updates on what's happening over there. None of these guys actually matter, but we're going to use always use HTTPS. We don't want to enable strict transport security now. You can do that, but if you look over here, you'll see that if you've got things cached in the user's browser and you make changes and it gets bypassed, it's going to fail. You can leave all of these guys on. We can turn on certificate transparency. You'll get updates when the things change, and then you can double check that it's working when your certificate on Webflow gets renewed. We don't need origin pools on. I think we're all set over here. Yeah. So let's just close this guy. We're going to go into incognito mode to make sure everything is working properly. Oh, welcome studio test.com. Copy. Just copy that for future reference. And now you'll see everything is working fine. Security certificate's fine. We're going to clean out browsing data. And we're just going to run a test with DevTools open and Dr. Flare on, so that you can see it's now starting to run through Cloudflare. So some traffic is being proxied, but not much, right? Because the only thing it can get hold of at the moment, you can see I'm it's already going through the Cloudflare data center in Cape Town, which is my closest data center, about 200 kilometers away. But it's caching very little because our assets, if we look at these, are sitting in website files. So you'll see assets.websitefiles.com. It might be different for you. You're just going to use whatever you have. So every time you open up one of these guys, you'll see assets.websitefiles.com. Cloudflare can only cache what sits under your domain. This is not your domain, therefore it can't do anything to it, can't run optimizations or anything. But let's forget about that for a second. Okay, first we're going to go to network. Let's turn on everything useful here. Do resumption. Guys who've been here before, you can read what all of these are, right? Under help. We don't need any of that. Okay, we're all set here. Traffic is just Argo. You might want to enable this. It'll cost you a few extra dollars. I mean, a lot of sites won't even get to this level, but it's like $5 a month extra, and it routes it through the Cloudflare backbone if a node goes down somewhere, all that kind of great stuff. So totally worth getting this turned on. Next, we're going to head to speed. Here you can run a test and it'll tell you how much faster it is with Cloudflare. It's still measuring at the moment. Oh, we need to upgrade to Pro. I forgot about this. So we can turn on all the neat little enhancements. I'm just going to go purchase. And now we have that. Image resizing, not important at the moment. If you look at our blog post, the very last bit in the blog post about image resizing, this is where it becomes important. And you also pay sort of usage-wise. We're going to set it to lossy. I mean, it's very hard to detect these changes. If you have image resizing on and you're using the embed codes that we have in the post, you can use things like AVIF, which is the latest in image compression, and I mean, even surpasses WebP by so much. We want auto minify on. These optimizations we're applying now are sort of the default, right? It'll apply to everything that we don't apply to page rules. So we're going to set up rules in just a bit. And if anything is missed by a rule, it'll apply these settings. The rules override this. Early hint, useful. Allows it to preload assets in the background. This is not WordPress, we don't need that. We're going to enable prioritization. We're going to enable Mirage. Mirage is especially useful on slower connections on mobile. It does that little thing where you'll see the JPEG image loads sort of slowly and pixelated, but it at least loads the whole page and then the images. And it'll do that automatically based on the network speed. Rocket Loader is great, helps for paint times with your JavaScript. I've never had any issues, but I have had issues once with a site we didn't build and someone had very strange JavaScript in the head, and we had to disable Rocket Loader. So if you get any like interactions and stuff not working, turn off Rocket Loader, clear the cache in Cloudflare, it's under caching, and then you can do that. Automatic signed exchanges. This is specific to Google and Chromium-based browsers, and it'll give you a nice little speed bump there. AMP, Webflow doesn't support AMP, so we don't have to worry about that. I think we have everything on in there. You can get your browser insights and stuff. That's just the usual sort of analytics. We'll show you where to turn that on a bit later. Okay, so now let us head back over here. So we've got a bunch of things turned on. This is where we sat before, 1.3 megabytes total, 14.6 kilobytes proxied. We're going to go ahead and clear the cache again. Oh, close the window. I'm just going to go back and forth a lot with this so I can show you guys what's happening. Okay, we're clearing the cache. Just doing that so that I can open the DevTools Cloudflare window before it doesn't do it on the settings window. Okay, pump this in. And now you'll see if we go through this page, a little bit more has been proxied, but not much. I mean, it's not really doing anything. So what do we do now? How do we get all of these grayed out images that aren't being proxied sorted? We go and add an app called Cassette. Cassette's going to go and look at your CDN on AWS, grab the content and route it through Cloudflare so that you can optimize. My Cache, you can use the free version, you can use the paid for version if you want to do more than one set of object storage hosts. So let's say you've got JavaScript coming in from somewhere else, you've got analytics or anything that you also want to cache and optimize, then you can add more than one. So we're going to call ours assets dot milkmoonstudiotest.com. This is where we want to keep it. And where are we getting it from? Where did we say we were in website files? Let's get a URL here. We just want to grab this. Whoa, sorry. I need an image. Open in a new tab. Okay, so our assets are being stored here. So we want to cache everything that's coming from there. Let's say back over here. Okay, and now it should create a subdomain for us. Ooh, actually, I forgot about that trailing slash. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So what's it doing? It's going to install a worker. You'll never see that. And it's going to create the CNAME record where it'll cache our content. And we've got an error. So it looks like Cassette is throwing a bit of an error. Doesn't seem to be able to create the CNAME record for some reason, but it is adding the worker. So for this workaround, you're going to go to the DNS settings, just create a CNAME record for the subdomain you were going to create in Cassette. So in our case, it was assets. And then the target you want to stick in there, the value, is the domain name of your Webflow CDN URL. You'll see I make an error here. You want to just stick in the domain, not HTTPS in the beginning. And once you've added that and it's proxied, Cassette seems to work just fine. The worker gets added. You never get to see the worker, whether Cassette adds it properly or not. But you'll see if you go to apps now, Cassette is not there, but everything else seems to still be working correctly. Thrown an error. I don't know if it would have installed Cassette. Ugh. Very weird. Okay, we're gonna march forth and ignore this. Let's close this and we'll open our page again. Seems to be loading. Yeah, it's working either way. I think we'll contact support and find out what's going on, but the images are being cached and it's obviously running through the worker. So let's run that workaround through you one more time. You're going to do exactly what you did here. You're going to stick in your subdomain. You're going to go to Cloudflare. Oh, sorry. I'm going to go to Cloudflare. I'm going to go to Milcom Studio Test. And then once that thing fails, trying to install the worker, you're just going to put in the URL minus HTTPS that Webflow is using, and it seems to be proxying correctly. So let's go and do developer tools. Bit of a hack now, sorry guys. But we do this. We'll see a lot more is getting proxied by now. And we'll see that some of our content is coming through assets.milkmoon Studio now and not Cloudflare anymore. So it's basically redirecting it. You can see the red, they've been proxied. This guy's still external, sometimes it takes a while. So let's kick things off. We want to create some page rules. We're going to do 2 sets of rules. You can do as many as you want, up to 20 on the Pro account. First off, we're going to start with assets. Wildcard everything in there. What am I doing? Wildcard. And we're going to go in here and just star on that. So everything in assets, we want to apply auto minify, all our JavaScript stored in there, all our CSS, all our HTML. We want to apply automatic rewrites just in case. We want to apply browser cache. How long will it stay in the user's browser? On this side, it's not very important. Let's say a year. We don't have any blog content that's constantly changing, etc. You could create a rule for your blog and you just move it above this rule. So it applies top down, first rule, second rule, third rule. So you exclude some things in your other rules. Edge cache, how long does it stay on the Cloudflare edge? So in my case, that I'm connected to right now, this Cape Town data center, how long will it stay on there? Let's say a month in this case, because it's all pretty static. We don't even have a CMS on this site. Cache level. It won't cache HTML files, which we really do want to do because it's standard. Oh, actually, we left out a step. We'll get to that. So we want to cache everything. I'll give you a rundown. Bypasses the cache. No query string. caches without the query string. Ignore query strings. So let's say you've got like Google cross-domain tracking or anything like that where it adds question mark something something something. It'll cache the content as if the query string was not included. Standard will include the query string, so every time there's a query string, it'll cache a different copy of it. Cache everything will just cache everything. Then we want Mirage enabled for mobile image to load faster. We want Polish enabled, does the nice little lossy thing we talked about earlier. We want opportunistic encryption enabled. So anything it finds that it can encrypt that isn't, it'll encrypt. We want rocket loader enabled, JavaScript. We want anything else on here? No, actually, we're done. Okay. We're going to save and deploy this page rule. Oh, this one's empty. Let's remove. Oh, I just deleted one. I think it was a rocket loader. Yeah. Want that enabled. Save and deploy. Okay, great. Now we're going to create another page rule. And this one is just star.milkmoonstudio.com/. So everything we missed in that first one, we're going to do. Ooh, we do not want this. We're going to do now. So that was just caching and optimizing our assets folder. Now we're doing the same over here for everything else that's not in that. Cache level. We want everything. This is where it's going to grab our HTML pages and things. And edge cache. I'm just going to set it for a long time because, as I said, very static page. What have we missed? Mirage on. Let's do polish, lossy, add rocket loader on, add opportunistic encryption on, add. That's it. You can turn on things like origin cache control and mess around with that if you want, but just go and read everything first. Okay, so our second rule is in place. Rule validation error. What did I do wrong? Oh, whoops. Test. Yo, I'm bad today. Okay, we want this guy second, this guy first. I think that's set up correctly. So it'll grab everything in assets, apply this rule, everything in multiple, and apply this rule. So what I usually do is I have the assets and stuff cached quite heavily. Then I'll have a blog second, because that content changes. So maybe setting the blog page just one day in the user's browser. And then the page, and if there are specific pages that, for example, has the latest blog content in a collection list on it, you'll want to add a rule also above your heavily cached rules where that guy is also maybe set to changing at least once a day in the user's browser, and maybe on the edge cache as well. Yes, the other thing we forgot to talk about, cache configuration. So we're going to switch this to ignore query string. How long do we want the browser to cache? Want it one day when anything is missed up there. We want crawler hints on. This will tell search engines that content has changed. We want always online on, so a copy goes to the Internet Archive as well in case your site and the whole Cloudflare network goes down. And that should be that. So what we're going to do now is purge the cache. We're going to purge everything. You can purge a specific page. We're just going to purge everything. And we're going to head over here, close that guy. File. We're going to clear browsing data. And we're just going to do a quick incognito on Milkman Studio. Test. See that everything's working correctly. Yeah, I think we're good. Good. Gallery. Another quick refresh. Should be cached. Okay, let's just double check that. Clear that. And we're going to go to Milkman Studio. Again, just stick the test URL in there. Let's turn on DevTools. Head to Dr. Flare. And we'll refresh this page. Okay, see the green? Get rid of this. It's been proxied, it got a hit, and it was polished. This guy's still being missed for some reason. You'll see it's going over there. Let's do this bit. Inspect. Okay, so you'll see based on the breakpoints, it hasn't caught the assets domain, I think, on everything in there. This is where the hack at the bottom of the blog post comes from. To grab these guys, you might want to try that out. Just go read that. And now, yeah, we're doing pretty good here. Let's go to speed. We'll run another test over here. And while we're busy with that, we may as well go in here, close this guy up. Incognito window. Oof. Studio test. And let's run a lighthouse score on this site. Okay, so when you run your speed tests, remember to run it more than once. It's going to hit the closest data center to wherever Google or anyone is running the test from. And it's going to cache it there on that data center. So after like the second or third test, the content should be cached and you'll get a much better test result. Performance 99. Look at that. Oh, so nice. It's just got some random errors here, but nothing performance-wise that we really need to worry about. Let's see what it does on mobile. We haven't actually cached it yet on mobile. So it might be slow. Might have to run this more than once on mobile. It's got an 88. I'll analyze it again real quick, hoping it uses the same server. And maybe we see an increase in speed there for mobile. Oof, 82. It's going down. Why is it going down? Largest contentful paint. Yeah, I don't have any settings on these. I just drag these images in here. So it's that same issue of the subdomain. Again, you can probably either set explicit width and height on these guys, or alternatively just do the hack. So if you go to the post on Moon Studios blog, you're gonna, for the hack, do an embed of the image. It's right at the bottom here. Do an embed of the image, and then you're going to want to do the image resizing, and you can set it up by your breakpoints, and just read this whole section, and it should sort you out really well to get all of those images caching on every device, anywhere, all the time. Go check back in Cloudflare over here. And Cloudflare says 16% faster. Okay, this is not a very heavy site. I mean, it's a little one we've been using for these tutorials, but hey, 16% is already good. So I hope you enjoyed it. Drop me a question if you have any. Sorry about this hack. I'm going to contact support and I'll post an update on why the app is not working properly at the moment. But you saw, just act as if you're installing it. So that it adds the worker. It seems to be adding the worker even though nothing's happening. And then once you've done that, just go and manually add this bit where I had assets. Just manually add the Webflow domain there that it's using. And then it seems to be working just fine. It's just not showing the app installed. I'll try and find a solution to that and post it on the blog. Okay, cool guys. Thanks for watching. Again, subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the latest posts. I'll let you know what's wrong with the system at the moment, but the hack still works. Cool. Cheers and have a great day.